Hello, my name's Darren McQuaid and I'm a professional magician and I perform at a lot of weddings. And that's what this video is about. I'm just talking about having a magician at your wedding, when's best to fit them in and what to look for when you're hiring a magician. So the first thing I always recommend is to have the magician during the drinks reception. That's a really good time to have a magician. You know, you've just had the ceremony, all your guests, they're now waiting around to either be called for photographs whilst you're having photographs, and they're waiting to go and eat. So it's a good time to keep them entertained. When I get booked for the drinks reception, I will tend to then do a trick at each table just to make sure everyone definitely sees me, and I'll finish at the top table just before the main meal is served. Now you can have a magician just during the meal. For me that doesn't always really work, as well as during the drinks reception, because people once they've got the main meal they want to get on and eat. They don't really necessarily want to see card tricks or be forced to pick cards, you know, when they're trying to cut up their meat and stuff. So for me it never really works, and also of course you've got speeches, that sort of thing, so the magician tends to be standing around quite a bit. It's not good value for money. Now you can also have a magician during the evening reception. If you go with this option, I recommend earlier in the evening rather than later, because the later it gets, the DJ tends to turn the volume up a bit. Your guests might be a bit more tipsy, they're up dancing, they can't pay as much attention to the magician as they could have done earlier in the evening. So that's another option, but for me personally I think the drinks reception is the best part. Now obviously all the advice I've just given is for a traditional, you know, British wedding. Obviously weddings can differ all around the world and different cultures, but magic is really good for fitting into different parts of the wedding and other events as well. Like I've done quite a lot of weddings where people have got married abroad and they've come back and just had a party. And again, with most parties, I say earlier in the party rather than later, just again because of the music and people, you know, being more tipsy and dancing generally. Now, when looking for a magician, there's a couple of things to bear in mind. Are they kid friendly, and are you having kids at the wedding? So not all magicians will perform for children. I personally perform for adults and children. I have a good mix of tricks, but not every magician falls into that category. So think about if you're having children there, and can your magician accommodate for that? Some magicians will only do adults, so that's one thing to bear in mind. I also recommend trying to meet up with your magician, whether it's like local or whether it's through Zoom or WhatsApp video messaging. There's lots of options now to actually meet up with your magician and chat about the tricks they do, because it's important that you hire a magician you like. Not everyone likes every magician, you know. Some people are going to think I'm the best magician, some people think I'm the worst. That's just the way it goes. So find a magician you like, try and talk to them. It's very common nowadays for people just to communicate by text, and I really like to talk to anyone who books me, whether it's over the phone or just to have a chat really, and they can find out what I'm like and what I'm about. But anyway, it's just a little bit of advice for booking a magician for your wedding. I hope it's of use to you. If you do want to find out some info about having me at your wedding, please get in touch or look at some other magicians who are local. But I hope you have a really good wedding, and I hope to see you soon.